so good to see you. Welcome to Popternative.
Hell yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's spooky season, the best time of year.
It is. I'm so excited. We're like 2 days away, 3 days away from October. I can't do math, but we're so close.
This film, I'll tell you, I was stressed the entire time. Okay. And I get, yeah, you're like, yes, that's the point. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, you know, one of my favorite things about watching horror movies I'm a big roller coaster fan as well. Like, you really sometimes feel like you're on a roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Yay.
The
Yeah.
ups and downs, the twists and turns. Are you conscious of the audience member watching this movie when you're making it specifically that they're going to be uncomfortable for most of the time?
100%. Super conscious of the audience. Like, I really wanted them to have a good time, like a roller coaster on this one, because it is such, you know, like heavy subject matter. I was like, okay, I don't want this to be like a slog to get through. I want this to be fun, and I want the metaphor to work. And so, yeah, definitely wanted to be like, the drop's coming, but you don't know it kind of vibe for sure.
And you know what? This is the one. I'm a big believer of, like, I love going in to watch things fresh. You know what I mean? I did watch the trailer for this one, but can you imagine not watching the trailer for this?
Yeah. What is happening? Like, this is insane.
But that's the best sometimes. You go in not knowing anything and you're just like, oh my goodness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Like, that's my favorite. I mean, it's so hard these days to, you know, like avoid reading stuff about movies, but that's kind of cool. What was with streaming? You're just like, I guess I'll press play on this. And you're like, whoa.
Again, I don't want to go into kind of big spoilers, but I think the thing I really also loved about this is, yeah, I was stressed the entire time. So thank you for that. But also, there's a lot of elements, traditional horror elements, and, you know, more kind of newer traditional, like non-traditional elements, so to speak. There's the psychological game. There's the people are scary kind of aspect of it. How important was that for you to kind of look at this script and kind of concept everything? And then when you went to film, kind of make sure that all of those elements kind of like stood out in the film specifically?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the tone was always a challenge from the beginning. You know, I didn't want it to be too campy, because then Hannah's mental breakdown doesn't feel sincere. It might actually feel rude towards it. And then if it's too dark, it like isolates people. So even from the script phase, it was kind of, okay, when can we insert humor? When can we insert drama? When can we, you know, how do we balance those things? And that went all the way through even color correction. We were like, okay, yeah, it's getting too spooky right now. People should know that they have permission to laugh in this moment. So it was definitely it wasn't like, I figured it out. It was like,
I definitely put horror, like, it's a horror movie, but like, you can make an argument that Appendage is a genre-bending film. Like, you throw a lot in there.
It's a lot. And, you know, it was meant to be nuanced, right? It's like comedy, horror, psychological drama, psychological horror. So it's definitely all of those things.
But the comedy made me a little more freaked out, because I'm like, because I was kind of like, are they supposed to be this funny and happening? What is happening right now?
It's like not what you're supposed to laugh at, which is like, I love that. I'm like, it's disturbing but funny, and like,
but like horror movies have always been around, but obviously there has been this big kind of surge in popularity, and I feel like the horror movie fans, they love it all, right? They watch the thriller stuff, they watch the horror comedies and everything. So I'm just curious, just a general question before we wrap up on it. I mean, what's it like working on a horror movie at a time where there is a big appetite for this content? Like, everyone loves horror movies these days.
Yes, I would say it's really exciting.
Yeah.
You know, it's a genre where I think you're allowed to experiment a little more than in any other genre. And that, I'm really drawn to that. I'm like, okay, well, if we can kind of like screw around with this, like, let's try something new. And like, if we're open to taking the risk, let's do it, you know? And on this one, that was that opportunity where it was like, let's do something with familiar elements, but then try to do something new as well.
But let's be honest, it's got the gore, it's got the jump scares, it's got all that good stuff.
We have it.
Absolute. Appendage is premiering on Hulu October 2nd, just in time for spooky season, part of Huluween. Anna, so great chatting with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Great chatting with you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.